Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone and Brewell. Peace and blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Those in the gospel, broad lifting them to standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever they may be. This is a quick lesson through the Spirit. Lord's will be edifying. I filmed this video yesterday, and because the brothers had sent, they sent the message through the group meet, and the brother was like, well, pay attention to the sun. And I'm like, oh shit, and this was here in Kansas City yesterday, what approximately 6:37 p.m. Brothers sent text messages of what appears to be the sun. Now, we saw an ordeal like this a couple of months ago out here, and I believe somebody got whiff of it in like a different state. Can't recall which state it was, but nonetheless, they claimed that it was a chariot. It wasn't even a sun. Okay, so the scriptures goes into fearful consolations and fearful sights in heaven. Now, while this is a result of Esau's weathering program, because from what I researched, there wasn't any wildfires in the area, and things from Cali, wildfires and inclement weather. Sometimes they do have the tendency of hitting this region of the country, depending on the jet stream. But I don't recall there being any wildfires in the vicinity for us to get this type of haze or this type of hue. So nonetheless, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, man, hey, he's showing the signs, man, okay? Because one thing, they was chemtrailing on what was supposed to be a pretty clear day. But yet, when you look up in the sky, there was nothing but a haze. And then when you appeared to see the sun was whole, but it was like clouded behind a thick blanket of smoke. And this is the shit that we're breathing in, man. Okay? So peep this. This is a little video I did yesterday. A little commentary. It's only like a couple of seconds, but, this is something to pay attention to, because Esau is spraying the heavens, man, because, hey, he's trying to get people jacked up off that what. So let me see. Let me play this. Just hell, like, that's strange as hell. Like, look at the sun, like it's fading out. That's how you know all this shit they sprayed. It's definitely something up. Because, it's like a mist and a layer in front of the sun. I know they're blaming it on these wildfires, but I don't think it's the wildfires. I think it's the stuff that Esau is spraying in the air, man. That's kind of strange. All this shit we're breathing in, man. Like, it appears to be a cloudy and a hazy day, but you got a full sun in the sky. And the crazy part about it is that if we have a full sun without any official cloud cover, then that means that it was supposed to be a clear day. Hell, like, look at the sun, like it's fading out. You see? So yeah, man, this devil, man, he gotta go. All right, because like I said, this is shit we're breathing in. I even caught a glimpse of it when I was on the E-way yesterday. And peep that. So we're definitely in them times, brothers, man, and a few sisters that watch. So keep watch, man. Stay prayed up, because something is definitely going on in the spirit. All right. So anyway, precept. It's the book of Ephesians 2, and I'm gonna start at verses 2. It says, "Wherein in time past ye walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air, the spirit that now working in the children of disobedience." Okay, and who is the prince of the power of the air? Satan. Okay, this so-called white man, because he has jurisdiction to some degree over the heavens, because the scriptures say that the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. So, through particular waves and music and, this technology, Satan has complete dominion over, pretty much parts of the earth, because, the Lord has gave this rulership into him, because the scriptures goes into every time and chance happen to every man, roughly paraphrasing it. All right. Now, I went into this before several times, but it doesn't hurt to revisit it, because going back to engineering weather, geoengineering.org, which is, I actually have a YouTube channel as well. And it's good to watch these videos, because, they straight up tell you straightforward that Esau has a what he called geoengineering. Okay. Geoengineering, when he sprays the skies, and he got what he called cloud seeding, and he have HAARP. But there's a new movie coming out called Geostorm, which I believe is a follow-up to the 2017 movie that came out. And I forgot the Edomite guy that play in it. I don't think it's Gerard Butler, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think it's him, but Regardless of it, they have a sequel coming out, which I assume will follow in tandem with this with the new movie. But basically, geoengineering.watch, and it breaks it all down. Okay, aluminum snow, engineering winter, aftermaths of chem nucleation. Because think about it, like all the rain, all the snow that falls to the ground, it's complete chemicals, man. Because you could take a snowball and melt it, and it won't even melt. You see, back in the day when we were kids, we used to actually eat the snow off the windowsills, but now you can't do that no more because you'll drop dead. Same thing with the rivers. The rivers are contaminated. The trees are dying off. I mean, you can clearly see it. Some trees are sprouting already for fall. We're technically we in the fall, you know. But regardless of that, Yahweh Shem Hawashai, man, he's showing his signs in the heavens. All right. It goes into chemically nucleated winter weather. That's when we have the crazy ass storms and the snow that appears to be not even real snow, because a couple of years ago, that shit came down and it looked like cotton fuzz from a teddy bear. You know, engineering climate chaos, geoengineering creating freeze, fry extremes. So the crops won't yield its full increase. This is why the trees look dehydrated. Climate engineering, microwave transmissions, and April nor'easter. Beat this. Hold on, let me look at this real quick. This is recent. What as a weapon? The Dimming, that's a good documentary in case you brothers want to check it out. And by the way, the name of the website is geoengineeringwatch.org. Very good channel, good informative information. And it shows you what the hell is going on in your skies in America, which allegedly they're supposed to ban this shit because it's highly illegal to spray toxic chemicals over people's place of residency. But Esau doesn't care because he's the damn devil. Okay? But anyway, it says, when in time past ye walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air, which is Satan, and the spirit that now working in the children of disobedience. So there's a dark spirit working in these Edomites, man, and 2/3 of you niggas. And that's the spirit of spiritual demon Satan, which works in his physical counterpart, which is the so-called white man Esau. You know? So yeah, the prince of the power of the air is just clearly at work. Let's go here. Second address, matter of fact, let's go to Ephesians 5 and 15. It says, see then you walk circumspectly and not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time because the days are evil. Wherefore be ye not unwise, but understand what the will of the Lord is. And be not drunk with wine, wherein is excess, but be filled with the Spirit, speaking to yourselves in psalms and hymns and spiritual songs, singing and making melody in your hearts to the Lord. So we have to be very mindful at the time we're in, okay? Because like I mentioned, and Hawashai said it, he said, elect for the elect's sake, those days will be cut short. Because if you look at what's happening now, I mean, technically, we should already drop dead already from the toxins and the poisons we're breathing in, that we're eating. Okay, they big corporations, you know, Bill Gates, and, you know, they're buying up all sorts of land, patenting a potato, pricing out farmers, and they're taking over the land to breed their genetically modified crops, man. Okay, they just like, if you don't want to comply with us, we'll just buy you out and call it a day. Okay, but this is the book of Mark 13, and I'm gonna start at verses 17. It says, but woe to them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days, and pray ye that your flight be not a winter. It says, for in those days should be affliction, such as was not from the beginning of the creation which the Most High created until this time, neither shall be. And except that the Lord had shortened those days, no flesh will be saved. But for the elect's sake, whom he have chosen, he has shortened the days. And this is why time is speeding up. Because like I said, we're dying a slow death. Because, I mean, every time you breathe this shit in, it's taking an effect on your respiratory system. You know, your respiratory system, your immune system. And just a matter of time before the toxins build up, you start having complications. And this is why bronchitis and asthma and, you know, sinus infections and all types of things is going wrong in the body because of what we're ingesting. In the average person, they don't even see it that way. Okay, they looking at it like, oh, well, this is just normal, it's the weather. No, Esau is enhancing the weapon, and they bought that out during the time of Vietnam, that how basically Esau can play God and manipulate the weather. All right, and this was happening, man. Okay, this is not regular cloud cover, but like I mentioned, everybody has some type of respiratory infection or some type of respiratory issues. You know, you gotta have breathing machines when you go to sleep. Motherfucker snoring, tongue down throat. This is hell. All right, and I'm gonna go down to verses 24. Matter of fact, 23, and it says, "But take ye heed before I've told you all things. But in those days after the tribulation, the sun shall be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars of heaven shall fall, and the powers that are in heaven shall be shaken. And then shall he see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of great power and great glory with the ships. And then shall he send his angels, and shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from the uttermost parts of the earth into the uttermost parts of heaven." Okay? And basically it goes here. Now, when you go down, matter of fact, let's go Luke 21 and get it there, because it really breaks it down. This is the book of Luke 21, and I'm gonna start at verses 25, and it says, "And there should be signs in a sun." Okay, isn't this the sun? Now, one video, it wasn't even a sun, it was a chariot. They were like, "Oh, that was a chariot, a ship," you know. But we were, quite frankly, and we were, quite aware that this was actually the sun. But even then, it just like, what the hell? It's supposed to be a clear day, but this is what we get. But it reads, "There should be signs in the sun and in the moon and the stars, that upon the earth distress of nations with perplexity, the seas and waves roaring. Men's hearts fell in them for fear in looking after those things which are coming on the earth. For the powers of heaven should be shaken." All right. And it says, "Then they should see the Son of Man coming in the clouds with power and great glory. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh." Okay. And they give you the parable of the fig tree. And I ended after this one precept, Revelation 11. And I'll start at verses 18. And it says, "And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and that thou shouldst give his reward unto the servants, the prophets, and to the saints, and to them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth." You see, so with that, all praises and glory and honor that is due to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Lord's will, you edified. Into the next lesson. Shalom. That's strange as hell. Like, look at the sun, like it's fading out. That's how you know all this shit they sprayed. It's definitely something up. Because, I mean, it's like a mist and a layer in front of the sun. I know they're blaming it on these wildfires, but I don't think it's the wildfires. I think it's the stuff that Esau is spraying in the air, man. That's kind of strange. All this shit we're breathing in, man. That's strange as hell. Like, look at the sun, like it's fading out.